Hello, hello, welcome back to Talking Tunes, and today we are talking about 10 great tunes from albums that otherwise suck, or the original title for this video, Top 10 Great Songs from Otherwise Shitty Albums. It's pretty self-explanatory. This is not, now, some of these are genuinely great songs, and some of these are just the most memorable songs from the albums they're on. So it's a range of quality, and it kind of goes from how well they contrast to, just the lower down on the list they are, the more generic in terms of the album they are, and the higher up the list they are, the more they contrast the quality of the rest of the album. So, coming in at number 10, I hate to do this to a member of Pink Floyd, but coming in at number 10, last place, Confusion by Richard Wright and Richard Harris in their team up for Z on the album Identity from 1984. This is Richard Wright's attempt at a new wave album, and it goes incredibly poorly. I reviewed this during the Pink Floyd Completion Project. I actually reviewed several of the albums that these songs are on, and I will link every single one of those reviews below. But yeah, this is, again, just the one that I remember the most from the album. It's also the opener, which is unfortunate, which means on this pretty drab album, a pretty drab song kicks it off. So, yeah. I guess it does what a good opener should do, which is set the mood for the album, but you're not going to be super happy through most of it. Coming in at number 9, we have Daddy by Emerson, Lake and Palmer from their final studio album, In the Hot Seat from 1994. You know what? This might have actually deserved to go in last place, because what's worse than a pretty unmemorable 80s song, a pretty unmemorable 90s song, but by a band like ELP, this is just pitiful. And again, it's the only one I remember. It's not even particularly all that great, but it's, I guess, the most tolerable from that album, which I have also reviewed. It's just meh. The thing is, it's a charity single, and it sounds like a charity single that was just thrown onto the album, and it sounds like shit, completely separate from the rest of that album. So, yeah. Coming in at number 8, When the Heart Rules the Mind, from GTR, aka Steve Howe and Steve Hackett teaming up. It's just better. It's from 1986, so it's a little bit less adult contemporary, a little bit more 80s rock, but it's not great. It sounds more like Journey than Yes or Genesis. There's not much going for it, but it's our first decent song on this list. So it's all right. It's all right. Coming in at number 7 is San Quentin by Nickelback from their 2021 album Get Rollin'. Even for Nickelback, Get Rollin' is not a very entertaining album. And here's the thing: I will defend Nickelback. I have defended Nickelback, but I also recognize when they've made a bad album, and that is a bad album. San Quentin, it's a pretty good song. I'd consider it not on par with anything from All the Right Reasons or, Black Sheep, Black Soul, whatever their 2008 one is. I reviewed that album. I should remember the title. Something like that. It's a generic Nickelback song, but at least it doesn't sound like it's reusing ideas, unlike the rest of that album. So, yeah. Coming in at number 6, we have Cut the Cord from Shinedown's Threat to Survival from 2015. This is the only song on that album that actually sounds like Shinedown. Like, that album was their attempt to sort of cash in a little bit on that Imagine Dragons sound while trying to fuse it with their Amaryllis sound, and for the most part, it just doesn't work. But it does work on Cut the Cord, so yeah, again, far from the worst album I've ever heard. You're not going to get a review of that album anytime soon. I'm just saying. Uh, but again, it's a good song on a pretty middle of the road album. I would say it's just yeah. Coming in at number 5, "Work for the Working Man" by Bon Jovi from 2009's The Circle. I kind of cheated with this one. Any of the first 3 songs could have gone on this list, but I chose, in my opinion, the best of the 3. "Work for the Working Man," for a song written during the 2008 financial crisis. It's honestly aged pretty well in the 16 years since its release. 17 years since its release. Sorry. No, 16. 17? 16. 16, I think. I don't know. I can't do math, apparently. But yeah, it's Who's Gonna Work for the Working Man? The rest of that album is pretty generic. I can listen to the album Lost Highway, which precedes this one. Not necessarily any day of the week, but if sometimes I'm in the mood for that album, because I'm nostalgic for it. I'm not nostalgic for The Circle. The Circle is just a boring album overall, apart from the first 3 songs, like I said. And again, the best of those 3 songs is the third one. But, yeah. So there's that one. Coming in at number 4 is "No Son of Mine" by Genesis from We Can't Dance, their final album with Phil Collins, but not their final album. Thankfully, not their final album. Go watch my Calling All Stations review. Yeah, I mean, it's a 7-minute or all but 7-minute song that actually hits emotionally for me because I have daddy issues. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like their last, big hit, in my opinion. Of course, there's also Jesus, He Knows Me, and I Can't Dance from that same album. I do enjoy those songs, but I can't necessarily call them good in the same way I would call a lot of the other Genesis songs that I like good. So it's "No Son of Mine," and unfortunately, it's another album opener. So, yeah. Coming in at number 3, we have "Cinema" by Yes from 1983's 90125. On an album full of so much 80s cheese you could make nachos with it, for a brief 2 minutes and 7 seconds, we get some pure Yes. Just a pure Yes instrumental. It's just such a fantastic 2 minutes in the middle of that album that makes you think, oh, it's gonna be good from here on out. It's not. Sadly, it is not. So, there's that one. Coming in at number 2, "The Powers That Be" by Roger Waters from his Live in Prague 2023 album. On a live album that makes the baffling decision of starting off with "Comfortably Numb" and not making it a good version. It's "Comfortably Numb" 2022, by the way, and an album which every other classic song Roger Waters performs on it is just totally dog shit, bastardized, or has borderline no reason to exist. This takes a song from his 1987 Radio Chaos album, an album which could have sounded better if it was made at any point in time other than 1987. He takes this 80s, not bad song, but not super fantastic. The lyrics are great, because Roger Waters is a great lyricist, for all you can say about him. But it takes a song that's sort of hindered by the time it came out and totally rearranges it in a new way that puts it more in line with everything else. And if you were to swap out his, 80-something-year-old vocals on this for somebody who's younger that sounds like he did when he wrote it initially, this could genuinely be a great song. So, yeah, definitely check this one out. It's bizarre. It's totally bizarre on an album where every other song he made is worse than the original. He did a version that's better than the original studio version. So, props to him on that one. Yeah, and song number one, the best great song on an album that otherwise sucks is Words from the Wise by Gentle Giant from Giant for a Day from 1978. On an album that's just not necessarily bad. It's definitely Gentle Giant's worst album, I can tell you that much. On an album that really gives me no desire to listen to it in full, this album opener puts me in a hell of a mood. I am jamming out. It is fantastic. It is a fantastic song to just listen to. It's upbeat. Words from the wise encourage you. Carries all when things go wrong. It's just a great song. It's just legitimately a great song. Is it what you go to Gentle Giant to? Not necessarily. I feel like some people would go more to, I guess, Steely Dan is the closest thing I could compare it to. It sounds like it came out in 1978, but it also sounds like it could only be made by Gentle Giant in a way. So, yeah. So that is the top 10 great songs on otherwise shitty albums. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Definitely check some of those out. Most certainly check out No Son of Mine, Cinema, Powers That Be 2023, and Words from the Wise. Definitely check those out. Yeah, thank you all very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it. If you have something to add, if you have your own song that's great on an otherwise shitty album, please feel free to leave that in the comment section down below. If you want to hear me talk about something other than music, I have a podcast with two of my buddies. It's called Dorkies. I will link the latest episode of that in the description down below. And if you want to hear what I happen to be listening to that day, you can follow me on Instagram. I will leave a link to that in the description down below. And yeah, with that, I would like to remind you all to stay weird and keep jamming. See you in the next one. Take care.